Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman, and I happen to see Venom Fang X's series on Jesus in Genesis. Friends, I'm an agnostic and I could care less, but I think that what it amounts to is for years, Christianity has been trying to assimilate Judaism. And Judaism, uh, ever since its formation, has been fighting uh, assimilation. And built into the belief system, they have plenty of anti-assimilation texts that have been written down for all the people to remember, and they all heard it. And it's interesting how, well, the Romans did it, the Greeks did it, uh, and many times when nations try to overtake other nations, forced assimilation happens. We've seen that here in America with the forced assimilation policies of the Native Americans. Um, and and I think that it's been going on ever since the start of Christianity, and it's a sad thing. But there's always one verse where a person can go. And it's excellent. Deuteronomy 32, right at the end of Deuteronomy, there's this song written down in the text. It's by Moses. It's a song of God. It's written down for the people. And some people believe maybe different things about this. Some scholars believe maybe that this text of Deuteronomy and what was in it caused the great Reformation of Josiah, where he did a huge purging, and he realized that Judaism was not following the laws as they should, and had a huge Reformation because they realized that they were being assimilated. That's all this is. So I'm going to read that text, and it starts when 32:9. There's some different ideas about among scholars about 32:8, but we're going to start with 32:9. We're going to read down to 32:12. For the Lord's portion is his people Jacob. That's the metaphor for Israel. Is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land, in a waste, howling wilderness, and he led him about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. So the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. Hate the KJV, but I read it out of the KJV. It's what most Protestant Christians would view and read. It's one they're most familiar with. So the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. And also, scrolling down, or turning down, to 32:39. See now that I, even I, am he. There is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So you got those texts. And if your children and you were taught those texts and know those texts, that would in some ways maybe prevent you from being assimilated. However, there are plenty of people out there. I'm agnostic, I could care less, but I know that there's plenty of people out there pretending to be one way, but are really the other. And that's all they're looking to do, is to assimilate. And that's how, friends, that Jesus would end up in Genesis. But If you look in the Hebrew, in the Greek, you will not find Jesus in Genesis. Not unless somebody wrote him in there. Metaphorically wrote him in there, or they crossed out some other name and penciled it in. Take care, friends, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.